how our lives might deteriorate as we age is what we're going to use the term as the mismatch or the gap of the wellness gap. Okay? Why would one person be able to live a long and more or less optimum and healthy lifestyle until they
deteriorate?
Well, it's not so much as deteriorate. We won't necessarily call it deteriorate, just the fact that at some point the human body is going to die. The suggestion that we are not going to move into Mother Nature's earth is actually a dream. And it doesn't mean that you can't make that dream last longer, right? It just means that, do you want to live longer but in a deteriorated state? Or would you like to live a long life and actually enjoy physical fitness, optimum mental capacities, and emotional and heart opening? Give me a little bit about what your perspective of what you would think as an optimum health, and what would you like for your wellness life?
This chart, the meaning of this chart, the true meaning is we have to catch up with the quality of life, not only to live, but to have good quality of life.
What we're looking for is the quality of the way you just described life as you age, right? Whether or not that life might end at a certain number or not, it's really whether or not we maximize these days that we have to do the things that we really want to do with our body, our hearts, and our minds, right? But there's a mismatch. And the mismatch really creates a situation that it affects the food that we eat, the mental capacities that we have, the movement aspects that we have, and the environments that we are living within. Some of the things we can control, some of the things we can't control, right? And so we're going to try to look now at each of these elements. A quality of life, we can create a situation by saying, like we just said, that our well-being is achieved with a quality of life and maintaining it so that we can actually enjoy life optimally and functionally. Right? Like we said, if I'm just living but I'm in bed, is that really a life I want to have? So these possibilities allow us to have a physical well-being, a mental well-being, and an environmental wellness. We just need to create a control and a situation that we bring our awareness to these subjects. That's one of the reasons that we built Zoya. And why Zoya is built in this environment, right? Look at the environment around you, even though it's raining and everything. We have a space, we have the glass, we have an open. The openness, especially for me, when I remember the first time I came to Zoya, where just all the windows create a sense of complete spaciousness. And the word space for me is very important. You know, if you looked at the 5 elements from what life is, the basic 5 elements, then the first element is an element of space. Why? Because everything needs to happen in space. It's the one element that most of us don't think about. We tend to think about earth, which is food that we eat. We tend to think of water, which is the water that we drink. We tend to think of the air that we breathe. We tend to think of the fire that we can cook things with. Each of these 4 elements actually live in your body. The earth is in your bones. The water is in the fluids that we have. The air, obviously, is what we breathe. And the fire is in the digestion. These 4 things we can control, and we can have an optimum by the things that we're going to look at. The air that we breathe, look at the environment around us. The fire, what are the kind of things that you're putting into your digestion, whether it's ginger or others. We'll let Dr. Cindy bring us some of that information. The water, are you drinking water? Are you actually drinking water?
My own agenda, I have another 2. So I live in green juicing always, most of the time. At least, I mean, if I want, for example, I have big dinner, I go green juicing the whole day and I eat dinner. Next day I go to green juicing again. And it's very important to really, and especially for men, broccoli, I don't know, broccoli, spinach, rucola, all of this high energy nutrition is available in nature.
Yes, you guys are question.
And one thing more, everybody who wants to convert the green leaves to organic, very simple. Put it in ginger, in vinegar, for 1 or 2 hours, soak it. It will take all the pesticides away, which is very key issue, and we do that here. And the protein is the basic block in our muscles building. And if we don't have enough protein, we suffer. As you grow up, your muscle mass every 5 years goes down by 5%. That's why it's so important to have protein, high quality food. This is what we call vegan protein. But you also need animal protein, and eggs. Eggs is very excellent. Opposite to the all nutrition theories before, organic eggs, I eat organic eggs, and I recommend everybody to eat at least 1 egg a day. But not well cooked, half well cooked, I mean. The other things is the whole grains. This is fantastic, especially if it's whole. Unfortunately today most of them are DNA modified. Our industry or our thinking totally modified the DNA of the grains. Today you don't find wheat. Every wheat today you eat in the market, every bread, everything you eat is genetically modified. This is a crime. We are living in a world of crime. They added to it, what did they add? Gluten. What does gluten mean? From glue. It sticks on the intestine and the colon. It sticks on the colon and it does not go. That's why flushing your body with green is very good, and with water is excellent always. So we have to be very moderate in the bread. If you can't find organic wheat, you are very lucky. Yes, I mean, make your own bread, in my opinion. If you can't find organic bread, you are very lucky. Now we have gluten-free. Many good hotels, if you go, you ask for gluten-free, they have it. So it does not taste as good. Again, we go back to the issue, moderation. If you eat in moderation, you will always be in a good shape. The fruits are very good, especially eat fruits in season. Today it's not the cherry season, but you go to the supermarket, you find cherry. And you find, for example, strawberry, it's not the season. How they grow it, either in a green farm or they with hormones to grow it. And it's not the season. So God made the fruits matching the seasons. There is summer fruits, there is winter fruits, there is autumn fruit, there is spring fruit. So try to make your fruits and vegetables as per the season. The last thing is seasonal. In my opinion, if today I want to redesign this one, I will put nuts here immediately before the legume, because it has the highest quality of fat. I mean, this is a very important issue, the fat. The walnut, the pistachio, the macadamia, the Brazilian nuts, all of them are very good. Personally, one time I used to do a diet of all nuts. I soak it in water for 6 hours, and then I take it from the water, and then I put like 1 spoon of each, and then add to it half banana, add to it some raw egg, and some spoon of honey. This is a meal. You have everything in that meal. The advantage of having sugar, and some of the fruits have very high concentration of sugar, especially melon, especially grapes. However, it's good for other functions. Pineapple and all of that, they are fantastic. But the drawback of fruits is the sugar, and that's why we should be moderate in the food, depending on your age. If you are 20, 30, okay, eat as much as you can. But if you are older,
this is nutritional values.
Yeah, when you think of food that you put into your body, what kind of a value does that nutrition really offer you?
And then you go salmon, eggs, milk. However, this is indicative. I mean, this chart is out at the end of the day, it's indicative. It does not tell us eat this or eat that. But the idea of the chart, and that's why I'm putting it here, is this one. Just to tell you how important is the green stuff in there. Whether it's salad, whether it's green juicing, whether it's anything. But please try to always focus on green leaf. Ultimately, if you want to live a fantastic life, your body has to be alkaline. There is 2 levels of acidity, one in the stomach and one in the blood. The blood is different than the stomach. The stomach acidity should be very low, which means very acid, in order to digest food and process food. Your blood should be alkaline. How to do your blood alkaline? From the quality of the food you eat. Like this one, leafy vegetables, vine, whatever, sprouts. And here I want to focus on something very, very important, which is very famous in Europe, is sprout. Sprout, and we call it superfood, life food. Life food is food that gives us the best flora in our stomach. So we should focus on like the kimchi in Korea, like the sprouts. like the Belgian strauss. I mean, it's very famous in Europe and Switzerland, Belgium. I mean, this food, fresh
And
garlic.
something else is wheatgrass.
Now, fresh
If you
garlic.
can juice wheatgrass, this is, it's medicine, breakfast food.
No, I mean, what Burak is talking about, we take wheat, we put cotton, and we water it, then we have wheatgrass. Wheatgrass is the highest thing in pH. I mean, it's about 12, 20, and there are clinics in America.
So we jump a little bit, like, when you think of food, the idea is that technically Mother Nature was very intelligent. And if we can just tap into that intelligence by recognizing that the food and the color of the food have a way of helping us understand what that food is going to do for us. One of the things about green leaves, since we talked about it so much, how do we get oxygen in the air? Remember the lesson from high school biology? We get oxygen because of green leaves. They convert CO2 to O2. Without green leaves in the world, we would not have oxygen. That's how important green leaves are. The average human being barely eats anything green. And so with the same idea, purple items, fruits or vegetables that are purple in color, they help your heart, they help your blood vessels, they help to create anti-aging. Things that are white, why are the doctors walking around with white? Because it's a symbol of health and holistic. So the white items help your immune system, garlic, onion, yellow, helps to lower cholesterol, helps your joints, bless you, supports your eyesight, will help to prevent cancer. Red items really help to keep the heart and the blood circulation better, help to create a skin protection. So with this capacity, you're able to go out into a shop and you can look at the fruits and the vegetables that you have, and then you can look at your plate and you can ask yourself, what is on that plate? Does it look all brown? Do we have the brown color over here? Right? Again, I'm in a group of people here that seem to be living a very healthy lifestyle, but most of the times when I'm in a group of people, then the whole idea of having a colorful plate is a completely new idea. And so I'm glad I'm in this group, and so let's see if you have any questions or thoughts since you're with this on a daily level for this group. So let's see if we can get a little bit more intimate and personalized, since some of these are just maybe newer information to support what you were doing naturally, like drinking a lot of water and eating greens, which seems like a lot of you are doing already. How many of you look at your plate and think of the colorfulness on the plate that you have? No. There you go, so now you can begin to think like that. You know? So if your plate doesn't have a variety of colors in it, then how are you expecting that the food that you're eating will help you live the life that you want? Right? And so when we talk about food as medicine, well, look here. Right? And if you're not eating colorful things, then what are you eating? Because Mother Nature makes things colorful. So if your plate is primarily brown, then I'm good for you for hunting and enjoying meat, but chances are the rest of the food was processed.
But you have to eat all these colors. You cannot.
You want to be you want to eat all these colors, of course you do. Right? I mean, not necessarily that you have to make all these colors in every meal. That's why we go back to the food pyramid. What was the food pyramid? Water, greens, legumes. How was the food pyramid? Was it separated into colors as well, wasn't it? Right? And so we come back to, if your plate doesn't have greens on it, which is the average human being, by the way, like I said, most people, if I come back to my clients, I need you to drink water and I want you to eat greens. If you can bring these two things to your life, then we are in a good start. If I can't get you to come back to me 2 weeks later and I look you in the eyes like, so how much water have you been drinking? Oh, I tried, but it was disgusting. There was no taste. I was like, okay, well, why don't you put like cucumber? I sent you some material. You could put an orange. And how much greens did you eat? Right?
Dr. Cindy.
Yes, correct. Where is she?
You have 5 minutes.
Okay. And where is my Dr. Cindy? And she comes. And so we come back to what I am noticing, that for some of us, we have colorful plates, and for some of us, not at all. With the processed food, the industry has given us a completely different idea of what's going to be good for us. Not only that, the industrialized system that we live under has made us lazy, right? It's easier and stuff like that. And so we're not really going out to create an optimal health by sourcing and trying to eat the best foods that we can.